4, 3, 3.5, 2, 1. What up, though, everybody? Welcome to the NomisJ Live podcast. As y'all know, man, we do this usually in the middle of the week between Wednesday and Thursday. It's been Thursday the last few weeks. Of course, I'm always not alone with my main man, my co-host, as I like to call him, Go Green Daryl. Flag goes fly. My boy Daryl Simpson in the house. What's going on, B?
What's going on, brother, man? Listen, man, happy to be on the show, man. We got a lot to talk about, man. We'd like to welcome everybody that's in the chat, man. Welcome aboard. We got a lot to talk about, man. So we're looking forward for a great show today.
Hey, I felt that. Speaking of the chat, we got Juice, the first one in the chat. Appreciate you for showing up, man. How you doing today, man? Hopefully all is
Yes,
good.
sir.
I'm doing okay. Yeah, what's
What's
up?
good? What's
That's
up?
what's up, man. Uh, well, you know, things in this life, not just only in this city, but in life in general, happen for whatever reason they happen for.
Mhm.
It's not a topic we like to talk about often. If y'all can just bear with us for a minute, man. In here in not East Lansing, but yeah, East Lansing, Michigan State University, there was a shooting. Unfortunately, another shooting had to happen where it was the 3 people who died. Um, Unfortunately, these things keep happening in this country. It was several of them last year. It was several of them the year before. Some this year now. Daryl, obviously, you're a fan of the sports of the Michigan State University, but this, at the end of the day, it's about the people. I know you got some things how you feel about that, man. Just wanted to let you get your take in on it, man.
Yeah. Um, um, it was just sad, man. It's really sad, man. I didn't actually find out to the following morning. I woke up
Yeah,
getting ready for work, man, and I looked at it on my phone. I was like, what? And then I read the whole thing and watching on CNN and watching it on, Fox 2. It was heartbroken. It was devastating, man. And it for those three young students, man, to lose their lives, and then plus you got 5 other people it was in fighting for their lives, man. These were some innocent students, man. Were going about their
yeah,
lives trying to, better their education, man, and get their degrees and stuff, man, and to turn around, you get 5 people, and fighting for their lives, and the 3 people that's gone will never see life again, man. And it's just sad, man. It's really sad. It really, I it bothered me so bad, man. From this, from the what we experience from what happened at Oxford High School. We're experience from other shootings, with Uvalde, Texas, the elementary school. It's the same, from Sandy Hook on back, man. It's, what happened at the grocery store at Buffalo last year, man. It's just sad, man. It's sad. It's like people go about their lives and live their daily lives, spend time with family, friends, and they lose their lives over some gun violence, man. And it's just people saying it needs to be a change, man. But it's it's feel like it's no change, man. It's keep happening, man. And I
hmm
think about that, the stuff like, you know, I have 2 daughters, man. I have a 3-year-old and I have a 15-year-old, man. You know, I shouldn't have to, be worried about is my kids gonna, make it home from school or make it to school at that, you know. And I shouldn't be as a father have to go worry about that, I should be like, hey, my baby is, in school. I'm sure my baby is getting home safe. I should have to. No parent should have to deal with that, losing their child, anything. No family member should have
yeah.
to deal with that. And it was just sad, man. And, and And one of the victims that lost their life, Ariel, that was actually, it's come to find out when I read about it, that was actually Delicious niece. That was her niece.
Oh wow.
That was her niece, yes. And
Wow. Hold on. We got a couple people in the chat I want to acknowledge real quick. Welcome, O16. Appreciate you always coming through. And what's up, Tiffy B the Great? Thank you for showing up. Thank you. Appreciate that. How y'all doing today? We talking about the MSU situation over here with the unfortunate shooting that happened. But yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate you, Tiffany. Great being on the show. The on 16, I very appreciate you being on as well, man. Like I said, man, this has to stop, man. It really has to stop, man. It just, you know,
Yeah.
it's like, come on, man. It's like, the guy, this man had no ties to the state, to the school. You had no ties, and you come up
Right.
there, you want to take some innocent lives because you haven't, going through some mental, you got mental illness and stuff. And mental illness is real. It's out there, but there is time people can get the help that they really need the help, man. And like I said, I'm really bad for these victims, but I don't feel bad for the guy, the shooter. And I know he committed suicide, but I don't feel bad for him because you shouldn't deal what you did. And it just it's sad, man. It's just like you just never know, like, man, you just never know in life, man. It hits you, man. It really hits you, and my condolences, thoughts and prayers, and send my condolences to those victims that lost their lives and to their families, and send my prayers out to those other victims that's fighting for their lives, for what happened at the Monday. So, and I would like to say to the Big Ten, you know, Big Ten, and especially U of M, man. U of M, they showed so much support, man. Um, Down yesterday, at their campus, in Central Campus, um, did a vigil for Michigan State Spartan Strong, man. And you know, you it, it we forget, we forget the moment about the better rivalry, in-state rivalry we had, but this is something serious, man. If it was a situation that happened
Yeah.
at U of M, we would have been doing this. We would have been doing the same thing. Support U of M. So even if it's Eastern, Western, I don't care what. We're going to show the support. We're going to, be there. You know, we take away from the sports rivalry. We take away from that for a minute. This is about life. This is about people's lives. So I thank all the support for U of M, all the universities across the country, professional sports teams, sending thoughts and prayers out, man. Just Michigan State, man. Yeah, man. It's heartbreaking, man. It really is, man. It's heartbreaking, but we gotta stay strong, Spartan strong, man.
Yeah. Spartan Strong, definitely. For me, it gets tiring, like you said, man, hearing this every single year. Somebody dying for this type of reason, man. It's like I never understand why. Even if, because allegedly they were trying to say like he was upset about his mom dying or something like that, which happened a couple of years ago. And I'm like, okay, I can understand if you lose your mom, you're ready to shoot anybody at that point or hurt somebody because you lost a parent. My thing is, what is up with you going to the school? And I keep asking myself, like, why go after her school? Why, if you go hurt somebody, just hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying? Not that I would want that, but I'm just saying, like, why taking out on some college kids? Why they didn't do nothing to you or anybody to deserve that? You know what I'm saying? that's what just keeps mind-boggling to me. Like, no, the Oxford scenario, that situation, another school in Texas or something like that. I think last year.
Mhm.
Excuse me, I've got a little cough going on all of a sudden. But yeah, man, it's tiring. In fact, while we live, if everybody in here, man, we just do a quick moment of silence, sing a little prayer for them. Just to show our support, man. Just
Yeah.
in the Holy Spirit, I pray, Amen.
Amen. Amen. Man. I
Yeah,
just want to say one more
look,
thing.
man, I'm just hoping. Yeah,
I just want to say one more thing right quick, man. Listen, it's a big game. Michigan State basketball coming up Saturday. And they're U of M and she's gonna show they're gonna have special decals um, on their jerseys, I believe, or patches some on their jerseys, something for Michigan State. Um, it's gonna be an anticipated crowd. Will it, unfortunately, I'll be at work. I mean, I have to deal with being the bus driver, deal with the traffic, what I'm saying, while I'm working. But um, looking to see a lot of, support, the U of M and Michigan State. Um, to go out there, it's gonna be so difficult for those players to go out and play. Um, but whether win or lose, everybody wins, from outside
hmm
the game. So looking forward to it. Like I said, I won't be able to watch the game because I'll be at work, but I will be seeing
yeah,
a lot of U of M and MSU fan base. I said
yeah,
out there showing my support, man. So I'm glad we start off the show, you know, talking about the incident. What I'm saying, that happened. Unfortunate tragedy incident that happened, man. So it's just something that it's like it hit home, and so we're just tired of it, man. We're just tired of it. So um, yeah, man. So any final thoughts, man, about
yeah,
you know?
man. Well, first, let me welcome in Tyler Fulger to the show. Retro recap. I'll talk to you about this later. And Mondo Ray Moore. And if you right away, Mondo, if you got time when you do get settled in, I'll let me know to drop the link in the chat, and I will, so you can come in and hop in with us because I already invited you earlier. Appreciate that, Retro. But yeah, for the final words, full man. This is why I always say love your loved ones, man. If you got relatives you ain't talked to in years, call them up, see how they doing. It's dark days out here, but you gotta stay prayed up. I wish the union that we all showing, man. I wish we could do this more often without somebody having to die. You know what I'm saying? I wish this stuff would happen more often as far as unity and stuff like that. Hopefully, maybe one day we can get to a time and place where this can actually happen for a better reason. Again, prayers out to the families, and I wish y'all nothing but love and healing, and hope that y'all can get through this. With that being said, man, may God bless everybody, and amen to the Most High,
Amen.
man. So, I guess after that being said, man, we go switch topics,
That's it, man. We're
and
switching. I think we
whew,
got some Super Bowl reaction to talk about, man.
oh
I was hurt, man. I was hurt.
man, man, who you telling? Oh, and rest in peace to Stanley Wilson, man. By the way, just to cut you off.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Stanley
rest in
Wilson.
peace
Yeah,
on
just
you.
found out.
Yeah, man. But yeah, we got some stuff to talk about that Super Bowl, bro. I did. You know what? It sucks that Hitman not in here either right now, because you
What's going
know,
on with Hitman, man? What's going on with? We gotta hit him up and see what's going on. That's twice he been
yeah,
on the show.
yeah. I gotta start reaching out to everybody. I just remember to get to Ray today. about it because man, that game was something else. Obviously, it it was a quarterback duel for one and a coaching duel. Like, let's be real. Before we even get into it, uh, was this one of the best performances from two quarterbacks that we've seen in a while? I mean, when's the last time we had a good quarterback, matchup where it was just like back and forth? Yeah, Hurts had the turnover, but it's like still he was like this dude showed he was a franchise quarterback. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not about to let nobody disrespect that young man. He showed us why he was a franchise QB, and I think that can't go unnoticed. Two of the best throws out the game came from Jalen Hurts when he threw the ball with pressure literally hitting him, and he somehow got it to the tight end. That was one of the best.
It's probably just jacked out here.
But Daryl, man, go ahead, take lead, man. Talk about it, bro.
Man, Hurts, man, Jalen Hurts, man. Thank you for that the comment on 16. I know on 16 he was talking. He was talking this little mess on Twitter, man. I can't hear you. What happened? You know what I'm saying? But I want to get to this, man.
I gotta
Jalen
cut you
Hurts.
off. I spoke him up.
There you. That my man. That my man.
All right. Oh snap! We lost. Damn! Now we done lost. We done lost Daryl, yo. Hold on. What the hell that happened? Oh my god. What the? I'm like, yo, we done lost Daryl now. All right, I got y'all in here. What's going on here, man?
Man, I'm telling you, man. Look, I said it from the jump that inexperience came up and bit them in the ass, and guess what? It did.
Well, man. I'm glad you on the show, man. I'm happy to hear from you, man. Listen, it ain't wasn't really about the inexperience, man.
Well, to me
It
it
was
was. Go ahead.
it was more of who came out as the better team and who made the less mistakes. To me, Philadelphia played a great game. They played a great as far as the offensively, they played great. They they made plays. They had to make plays. Jalen Hurts was unbelievable. Even when he turned the ball over, he still did that let that affect him the rest of the game. He made the throws he made. He was unbelievable. He was unbelievable. That loss was not on him. That loss was on that defense in especially in the second half. That Kansas City Chiefs scored every touchdown in the second half. The time they got the ball. That was on that the defense did not make any adjustments for them to make a stop on that. They did. And people want to talk about the 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 call that shouldn't have been called. It was the right call. It was the right call. And the referee he threw the flag. It was the right call. You can't we can't base off that one call. That Jalen Hurts and that Philadelphia offense did what they supposed to do. That defense did not held their bargain, and that's why the Philadelphia Eagles lost that game.
Okay, Jalen Hurts had a hell of a game. I agree there. But folks gonna sit up here and tell me that a little inexperience did not cost them that game on the defensive side. I believe it did. Because think about this. Andy Reid then pulled a maneuver that Sirianni wasn't even aware of. And the maneuver is basically that offense, that offense kept, driving down the field. It's like everybody considered at halftime, they considered the Chiefs dead. And the thing about that is like That maneuver wouldn't have worked if Mahomes kept converting, a couple of fourth downs, during that drive. He ate the clock up and took the clock away from Sirianni. That was a smart maneuver because Mahomes, I mean, again, I'm not saying that Corvette Juju Smith-Schuster, I'm not saying he was the best, receiver out there like that, but him and Kelsey made the play along with my man Pacheco. They could not stop him. And you're right. The inexperience came from the defense. Right at that fourth down, when Mahomes was charging down the field, why would you go ahead and make a boneheaded play like that? And you basically gave him the game with that penalty. So what he decided to do, drain the clock and give his kicker Bucker a chance to seal the deal, and that's what happened. Without that penalty, Jalen Hurts probably would have had the ball one more time.
But yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Some people say, that penalty they shouldn't have called it because the ball was uncatchable. Yes, I understand, but the penalty is a penalty. I can see it didn't look egregious. It didn't look like it was just it was like blatant, but it was there. He pulled on the jersey. Even Bradbury admitted it. He pulled it. He did it. They called it. He was hoping they was got to get away with it. It didn't happen. And like I said, your defense didn't show up in the second half. They played well in the first half. They didn't show up in the second half. And that's what came down to. Go ahead, no.
Okay, so here's when I knew the game was over for me. And this is why I said what I said when y'all both was on here last time, where I was like, somebody go get proven right and somebody else go get proven wrong, but y'all both right and wrong at the same time. It's the reason why I said it that way. The reason why I knew the Chiefs was winning that game was because it wasn't because it wasn't no pressure on the quarterback. It was, I kept noticing on the screen that they literally turned Travis Kelce into a running back threat without him being a running back. Like, they literally kept motioning him. And I felt like Philly was not adjusting to what they were doing. They did not put anybody on them. They second-guessed assuming. They went with assuming. They didn't pay attention to the motion. And then it allowed those receivers to get wide open, completely wide open. And I'm like, you can't be serious. And then when he did it again to the one that went to, I want to say Sky Moore, and I'm like, are you serious? Y'all literally just saw this happen and y'all fell for it again. And it was like, how is they doing this? And it's like, that's 30 years worth of experience right there in a Super Bowl. Like that. As far as I'm concerned, both teams was theoretically, to me, evenly matched. Because as much as you say that the defense gave up 35 in the second half, or how much points they gave up in the second half to the Chiefs, they also gave up 35 to the Eagles. So it was literally about who was going to outcoach who. Andy Reid just outcoached him. That's just really, really was. It didn't come down to who had more talent, who had the bigger threat receiver. It came down to who's going to outcoach who. And Andy Reid's experience, like Hitman said, just showed up. Now, well, I want to transition to you, Daryl, because you just lost both your coordinators. So what's Philly up to now?
You know what? The defensive coordinator, he did okay, but to be honest, I'm not mad at him letting him, he had gone. I'm surprised the Cardinals, they, got him as a head coach so quickly. But that's on the Cardinals. Have fun with that. I don't think he's going to last. Our offensive coordinator, I think he's going to be fine. He did a hell of a job. Like I said, like you said, as far as with Philly, it'll be fine. They'll be fine. They're going to get
who y'all bringing in to replace him?
We don't know yet. We haven't been far as offense coordinator. They was talking about possibly their QB coach, upgrade him to the offense coordinator, but that's in talks right now. But as
Yeah.
far as defensive coordinator, they haven't spec with anybody yet, so it'll be find out shortly. So
Right. Well, you know what? I want to do something while we all on here that we don't often do. Again, I know one team had to lose, but I just gotta kind of give an applause to that performance because you had two African American quarterbacks in the game, and they got to show out. You know, we used to grow up hearing about Brady versus Manning and all that stuff. Yeah, every time we seen them play, it was a bore. It was a snooze fest. That was actually a game that you could actually watch and be like, damn, this is some good stuff going on here. And I'm glad it got to be with our kind, not to make it ball race, but I just had to be the guy to do that because I wanted a good performance. And oh no, Hitman, we lost him. And if Hitman, you still here, let me know, man. Come back in. But I just had to salute that, man, because that I like a good performance, man. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So that was worthy of it. And I'm just happy that I could say, you know what, I watched a Super Bowl that wasn't a total shit show. And I think we all can agree to that, despite who you wanted to win, and not to be corny about it. At least we got to see a good game out of it. And it was a high scoring game that came down to the wire. That's literally what we got to see. And you can't ask no more for that. Any last words on the subject for now? We might talk a little bit more about it later, but any last word subject? Well, Ray in here now. I want to let Ray get his opinion real quick about the Super Bowl and whatnot. Ray, what you got? Uh-huh. Yeah. Ray? Okay, Ray, we're gonna let you figure that one out, homie. Because we can't seem to hear you right
Something's
now.
definitely wrong with my end.
Wait,
I
hold
can't
on.
hear nothing.
Can you hear me now? Okay, we gonna let Ray kind of check your mic, Ray. But yeah, so yeah, man. So we obviously I'll say this much while we waiting on Ray. What can we learn from this Super Bowl? They always ask that corny question. What can we learn from this Super Bowl that we can put for our own team in Detroit Lions? Like, what can the Lions learn from this situation? What is it that they can do and take from this Super Bowl? I'm gonna start with you, Hitman.
Really, it's one thing. Having a balanced attack.
Yeah.
It matters because what Pacheco did, what he did to help Mahomes, continue to drive down the field and mixing in with a few plays here and there, that matters. And keeping the defense, on the guessing game is going to help you. It's going to help you drive down the field so you can have more opportunities at touchdowns. It's like we don't have an issue with doing that. But then again, the defense got to show up and play, and that's what the Chiefs defense did. I'm not saying that they was spectacular and all that because it was a close game, but I have to be honest. This is where Spagnuolo, turned up the heat, and it worked.
Yeah.
In crucial times.
Okay, Daryl. Let's say you.
let's see. Well, as far as like you said, what I sent them with piggyback with Hitman said, which he was spot on at pretty much everything he said. Um, but this is something that what the Lions can look for. Like you say, we're not worried about the offense. They got mostly we got our wide receiving core to stay healthy and play the way they played last season is second to none.
Mm-hmm.
Defense, what we look at, you see what the Philadelphia Eagles, it at times they had the issue. They was not that great in stopping the run. They was up getting pressured They were so good. It was getting pressure on the quarterback and make it easier for our back end. For the Lions to for the Lions, they look, what they need to do. The first thing they need to work on, get that defense. The defensive line is not as bad as everybody think it is. We need to get that linebacker situation and get our secondary together.
Yeah.
Get that. We need to get our back end together. We need to. So when the Eagles did, when they used their front four to get pressure on the quarterback, it made it easier for our back end. And that's what the Lions to work on. That back end need to stay healthy, play disciplined football, and then make it easier. Make it easier for like I said, the back end, so they could go out and make plays on the ball, and they could get interceptions, deflections, and stuff. That's what the Lions need to just the work on. And that's what's important with this draft coming up. That the Lions
Mm-hmm.
need to draft right, especially with that first round with the 6th and the 18th pick. They need to spend their time on that first round on those picks, on the defensive side. We're not worried about the offense.
Yeah. You know something? I can't argue with none of y'all points, obviously. This is what I will add, though. For me, what the Lions showed me what they need to learn. They need to keep as many of their coaches, including probably their head coach, as long as they can, and their coordinators too. And that includes Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. And here's why. The Lions listen, I know we gotta remember we really just started our rebuild with this regime. And we already lost Deuce Staley. And what I noticed, like I said, these last couple Super Bowl, it was a battle of coaches. And no matter what the weakness was of one team and another one, these two teams ended up in the Super Bowl. And one that people thought would have lost because they didn't run the ball, they just dropped back, and Philly's defense would have got to them, which we all thought was going to be the case. That didn't quite happen. And partial of it is because of coaching and scheme effect. And that is coming from not just having a good playbook or knowing how to coach. It's also experience of years and years. You're talking about a head coach that was in the game for 30 years. And you know what I'm saying? And when you have a staff, like right now what we got with Campbell. We have, what are the Lions fans express thank you for coming to the show. Campbell, we know he's not an Andy Reid or, a Kyle Shanahan type of offensive minded. He's more of a strategist who can come up with a good game plan. And, he's a different style of coach. But for the system that he's employing here, it's imperative that we can keep our coordinator and our defensive coordinator as long as we can, these positional coaches, so they can get more time to develop the system. Because one thing we got to add in, for now, this team is being ran by Jared Goff. But eventually, you're going to have to move on from him, and you don't want to assume that because we get a quarterback in here that's young and fits the modern day style that, now they're going to the Super Bowl. No, you have to have your coaches prove that they can transition. They got the experience, and the young players that you're developing now, they're going to be the guys in the next couple of years when it's time to get Goff up out of here, are going to be more in sync. And that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you do need to draft defense, but at the same time, I don't want to say like, the offense is all just nitty gritty. Like the offense is just, it don't have to be touched, because I'm still seeing a hole at guard, and I take that guard position seriously because, yeah, our O-line was good, but if you're talking about being the quote unquote brand new Lions, I need them to be aggressive with the line and make sure it's 100% good, because we did have a lot of injuries in that position. We had to shuffle around Jonah on a couple sides here and there to accommodate the situation. At this point, I wouldn't mind them going in the second round to get a guard, even if it was pick 18, because I take that line that serious. When you look in the Super Bowl, that O-line has a really good player on each position. And for me, when they come to the trenches, I want a really good player on each position. I don't want to just half-ass on it because, they play good as offense. People were going to adjust to Ben Johnson, just like people are going to try to adjust to Aaron Glenn. You got to make sure that not only are your coordinators adjusting their game, but you got to make sure the personnel is continuing to be strong. So I'm not saying like go in the first round, just pick offensive players like some people might, but you have to not just say F the offense altogether on the draft because you might need another guard. That's very important. You know, you got 5 main huge blockers, and you want to make sure that you got a really good player. You don't want to get cheap or just settle because we used to do that a lot, and things will always turn out bad. So that's, if anything to take from them, is don't just assume you already have one side of the ball taken care of. That's last year. This is a whole new season now coming into the Fed. So you have to throw that out. People are going to adjust. You got better teams. You got the Chiefs to play. You got the Ravens to play. You got other teams that you better be facing with. You can't. Everybody got to get better. You got to figure out the situation with Jameson Williams. You got to hope that your running backs stay healthy. You got to hope that you can, keep your other young receivers that you go have on this team in development. You got to get the tight end involved. You got to change things to make it more improving. It just keeping it the same way. It not always happen like that all the time. So we got to learn to be able to continue to make adjustments, and I feel like we also got to learn how to stay, more on the lines of knowing how to evolve. We got to be able to, like, for us, we trying to follow a game plan. We think we're doing things like the Chiefs way, taking a game manager now and then, draft a quarterback, send them behind golf for a year, push them off. That, you got to know how to do that properly. And you don't want to end up accidentally rushing golf out here too soon, thinking you got it all and F yourself around either. So the way I look at it is the Lions need to start the next trend versus just not only following the trend. We need to start the next one. We need to do something that's different and innovative that could make teams want to copy what we're doing. Just like in basketball, how you got teams that thought, they could follow the Golden State Warriors and doing that small ball crap, and that don't work for nobody else but them because they the ones who run that style to life. So it's like the Lions got to do the same thing. They got to follow the playbook the way it's supposed to go, but they have to find a way to set the trend to their market, their way, in order to probably be that next team that could take the lead by storm and and possibly find themselves in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, don't just go by a game with assuming. You don't want to go by the copying paper. It's a copycat league, but you're supposed to find your own way as your copycat. You know what I'm saying? Take little things from support another team that's made success and find a way to create a new way for your own self. And I think that's what I can honestly say I took from this Super Bowl in the last few months that I've been paying attention to. But, everybody on this panel was right about their statement. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I wanted to add that little part into it. So, hey, hopefully so, Owen. 12-5. Yeah, hope so.
Definitely. I see the Lions definitely win the division, man. Really, Chicago's in a rebuild, and we know Aaron Rodgers more likely going to be gone. He's leaving Green Bay. And Minnesota, they a bunch of frauds, man. So we should be able to take that division.
Yeah, but I do got my eyes on Ryan Pace too, though. That's the one person that might be making me a little bit concerned is Ryan Pace. Him on the defensive staff for them, they're gonna be still the ones we gotta deal with, I think, come this year. So, but I think we, like you said, we can still at least take them on. I didn't know we should have sweat their ass this year, but hey, it is what it is. But transitioning, we had speaking of a young player, we just had in the NBA another young player that was recently traded for another young player to get out of here, unfortunately. Never got Hitman's opinion about the trade for James Wiseman. So I'm actually going to start this off with Hitman on his opinion of that trade and how he feel about James Wiseman's debut last night against the Celtics.
Okay, I'll start it off like this. First of all, I wish it wasn't Sadiq Bey, but I think what triggered it off was this coaching staff was telling him to do less when he should have been encouraged to do more. You don't ask a player to do less on a rebuilding, losing team. you want that player to maximize every ounce of talent he has. And I think from that right there is what really caused the disconnect. Now, did I like him going to Atlanta for James? I have mixed opinions about that because it should have been a different player. Yeah. But the fact that it was him, that's what made it a little disappointing. But on the flip side, with Wiseman, I've been peeping him, ever since he got drafted by the Warriors. Yeah. I mean, the guy has, he's rusty right now, and that's basically what you saw. So for him to get 11 points, and he's working on his conditioning, I have to say that was somewhat of a positive start. Even though he has more work to do, in my honest opinion, on his conditioning. But I like what I saw from Wiseman. And I'm going to end with that.
Hey, I think that was one of the fairest answers I ever heard. Wow, man. Honestly. All right, let's say you, Daryl. What you think about James Wiseman so far on his debut? I know it wasn't only a sample size, but, I mean, it was a lot to take from him, if you ask me.
He played well in his debut. He showed the potential that he has when he got drafted, when he was in college. He showed what he can do, and to him to go out there, like you said, his debut, he played well. Like you said, we do this. We don't take it a game at a time. That was just one game. Let's see if he's gonna hold us up going forward. Is this what we gonna going forward with going to next season, or is it something like an experiment? For the rest of the season experiment. So we will see. They said he played well. It was only one game. You said it was going to the All-Star break. Let's see how that goes after we come back for the All-Star break. It's just unfortunate, like seeing Sadiq Bey, in Atlanta Hawks uniform. It's unfortunate we lost him, but you look at Atlanta, they needed a small forward. Because obviously they didn't have one, so they needed it. So Sadiq Bey, highlights Sadiq Bey came off the bench. He's a little, he didn't play that great. He played at least about, I think, 21 minutes, 21 minutes, something like that. And he didn't play well. But I'm not gonna fault that because because that was his first game with the team. So it was just like he hasn't played basketball in over a week. Same with Wiseman hasn't played in a while. So you will see some rust. You see some rust. You see some getting some adjusted to some new your new teammates, the playbooks and all that. So like you said, we'll see we'll see how it goes with Wiseman. I wish Sadiq Bey the best in Atlanta. He's in a better now. To me, I believe he's in a better situation. He may get in the playoffs, in the play-in. We'll see. So I will be keeping an eye on Atlanta at times. How Sadiq Bey, how he adjusts to them. But we all gonna be keeping an eye on Wiseman and see what he does. So, going forward.
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing how I feel about. I got two topics on the Pistons right now. One y'all gonna be shocked because the second part I'm gonna be a little bit in rant mode. But the first part, I actually was very encouraged. I'm not gonna act like he came in and dropped 30 or something yesterday, but I'm not gonna lie, I was actually very encouraged by watching him for the period of time when he came out there because he came out there, I could tell he looked like for the first 60 seconds, if you watched him closely, from when the second he stepped out there, he did look like he was out there with like a deer with his head in the headlights. Like he did, like he was trying to find his place. And I know it's like right that he took that 3-point attempt. All of a sudden, I'm seeing him trying to score on 3 people, and he put the ball in. He all of a sudden he gets a rebound, and then takes a jump shot, and then he just started playing aggressive. And I'm like, okay, and that was good and bad at the same time, because I'm like, I just hope he don't come in and kind of like overdo it, trying to prove himself, and where he's like, getting himself hurt. That's one concern I will say I have. I don't want him being reckless out there trying to prove himself while he got traded here, because that can't make a situation bad for you. But the fact that he was out there, the only thing I wish that they could have played him and Jalen Duran a little bit more together, because we needed the help down low. The way they were firing on us, it didn't make no goddamn sense. And then the turnovers we had. But other than that, for us, he was to me one of the better spots of the game. In that entire game, he was like one of the main reasons why I was happy at times and smiling, because nobody else was really giving me anything to smile about, and it was ironically James Wiseman. You know what I'm saying? He obviously you see he got things to work on. Obviously you see, that he can actually put some points on the board, that he's not afraid to shoot the 3. Those are the good things. But like I said, you don't want him getting too reckless. And I kept thinking about this stuff all night. And for the most part, it was a solid debut for what it was. But I kept thinking about this all night, man. Hitman kind of touched on it already a little bit about the coaching staff and how the players are developing under here. I'm just gonna say it, man. We got a shitty ass development team, and a lot of it has everything to do with our head coach. We already said this, and we already discussed this. And I found myself just frustrated because. I look at basketball like this. Everybody got their own opinion when it comes to the game of basketball. But for me, I should be seeing my young players get their ass kicked. I should see Killian, Hamadou, all these young guys that we drafted and some that we traded for. I should see these guys taking ass kicked. It makes sense. The real issue is we don't have a good enough head coach that understands the modern day style, how to fit the game of basketball. 2, we need more veterans. We are literally hanging on Alec Burke and Bojan Bogdanovic. Like they are only guys we have to hang on as far as veterans, and they don't even play defense. So I need in the office all season. I need I need a veteran from each level. Now point guard wise, you're getting Cade back. Killian will probably go back to the bench. I'm cool with that. But even still, if we can go back to old Pistons archives and get Augustine to be a 3rd string point guard or something, and maybe get a veteran, small Bogey will probably be starting next year at the 3. If I can get another young veteran small forward that can push livers, because I don't know why he's regressed so hard this year. Like his job should have just been simple, 3 and D. Like, I don't know what's going on with Isaiah Livers, but, he's young. He has the right to go through that, but it's just been way of a huge regression with him. I don't know what the fuck going on.
Well, you have to understand with Isaiah Livers. There's times he hasn't played a lot of. He got a lot of time. And before the Sadiq Bey trade. So you have to, and then he was hurt. You know what I'm saying? He was out with an injury for a little bit as well. So Isaiah Livers, now he's going to be getting the time, a little more time, playing time to, get out there and score some points and get the play some defense. He's going to get out there. It's just like like I said when we talked about it on last week's show, about the Sadiq Bey situation. Is when I said when Bojan came in, with the team, he was gonna get the bulk of the minutes. So you look at it with Sadiq Bey was on the bench, so now it's just like really reduces Isaiah Livers of his role when he comes his role with the team. So now Sadiq Bey is gone. Now he's with Livers, he's gonna get a little more playing time. His role is gonna be, but. It's just at the same. It's just Isaiah Livers. To me, he's gonna be fine. And I look at it that he's gonna show his game. because he is a hell of a nice player, nice
Yeah,
role player he's gonna
defensively,
play.
yes. Hmm.
Yes, he's going to play his role. He's going to play hard. He's one of the guys on this Pistons team that he's not going to cheat you out of it. He's going to play hard. He's going to put his effort out there. And I want to get, like you said, right quick with the coaching staff. Yes, this is a horrible coaching staff, but you understand. I've been saying this for a while. With Dwayne Casey is an old school style of coach.
Yeah,
That
That
old
was the
school
main
style.
point I was making. Like, you got an old school mentality with a modern way of playing the game. It's a bad match. It's a bad mix, and we're seeing
yeah,
that. Go
It
ahead,
is.
D.
And you got all, yeah, you're absolutely right, Hitman. You get it on the note. And then, like I said, when people say about Nate McMillan in Atlanta, oh, he playing this old school style, and what's the difference? Why Atlanta they up and down? Because the difference is Atlanta they have the veterans, they have a little more veterans, and they have a little more talent than this Pistons team. Not saying the Pistons doesn't have the
right,
talent. But there's a difference. And I think Nate McMillan, he's doing what he's doing with the Atlanta team, but he has veterans and he has young players. Even though he's an old school style coach. Then with Dwayne Casey is old school style coach, but he's not the guy that
yeah,
can. I've been saying this for long. He's not the guy that's the coach younger players. He's not a player's coach.
right,
He needs to be coaching the team, a contending team that's contending for a championship.
right.
He needs to be coaching a team like that. He doesn't need
Yeah,
to be coaching the Pistons team. Troy Reaver, I, I got my little questions about him now. I got my little questions. We get Nerlens as well. He's not with the team. Is he still gonna be with the team? We got
I
questions.
wouldn't really
Marvin
with
Bagley.
that. I think he's in contention for a buyout type situation, and I think that's what he was really here for. But then again, I don't know why Troy Reaver picked him up. He should have let Noel go to a team that was in
yeah.
contention. I don't understand that signing at all. Go ahead, D.
You know what? No, the reason why part of it, he came with that deal with the Knicks. Remember, like we said, with the whole, when we got Jalen Duran, so he came part of that package later that month. Remember, but the thing is, the whole reason
But
why,
but my bad, no, I don't mean to cut you off. But you with the came in with that package deal, like with Kimber Walker came in, he could have did a buyout with Nerlens as well. If you knew you were not gonna have him, not gonna have him on the team that long, you could have just go ahead. You could have just traded him. You could have just agreed to a buyout with Ben did that
I
already.
know
You know,
that's why I was hitting to. That's why I was hitting to. The reason why he
oh,
didn't trade Nerlens Noel was because if you ain't noticed the trend with Troy Weaver, he trades a guy that plays that same similar position every draft. Either it's the week of the draft or on draft day. He's trading him then. And that money might have been a little bit too hefty too for him to be able to buy him out. See, Kimball was on a 1-year deal that was left. It was $9 million, something like that. He had to pay that buyout. Nerlens Noel technically got like 2 big years on as far as contract money. It's like over $10 million, I think. So that money would have been a little bit too much for them to try to buy out. So it was either you to go try to make him play, let him sit out, while he had that fake injury, and just wait till the off season and try to move him, or unless you can find a way to waive him now unexpectedly. But that would be pointless because you should have just tried to trade him for something. I would have had rather seen you trade him to Golden State for Wiseman, but I guess that wasn't going to be part of the deal because they wanted somebody else, as you can see, Gary Payton. But other than that, he's going to be traded during the draft. That's pretty much what it's been set up for. So they go move him out. Now, that's the other part I want to talk about. Not necessarily the draft picks themselves, but it's about Wemby. Because my thing is, if Wiseman plays well enough, obviously you still got Jalen Duran. Obviously, you still got Stewart, who to me does not need to be going anywhere. Stewart is my guy for a long time. Stewart is literally the attitude of this team. You can't get rid of him. That's 3 right there. If you move on from Nerlens Noel, and you keep, unless I don't know if you go keep Bagley or not, I like to think they are. but let's say by shorthands they do keep Bagley. What the hell are we doing if we do get the number 2 pick and Wemby is still on the board? Do you take him and throw him in the G League for a year to develop his NBA body or something, or do you try to start him over everybody, which ain't gonna make no sense? Because it's like you can't have 5 bigs essentially on one roster, taking up then half your roster, and then you sitting out here still need defensive players on other ends. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is that gonna work? Because I just don't see us, unless you tell me we trading Bagley or something in the off season and Nerlens Noel. Okay, fine, but I just don't see how we're gonna, make that pick work. Let's say we do win the lottery and get the number 1 pick, and Wemby is the guy. Are you okay with them sending him to the G League for a year? Because and that's what I'm saying. How the hell we go fit him on the roster and use him? Because that would be crazy to take a guy number 1. He's supposed to be a starter. So I don't know where they going with this.
Which tells me Victor Dub ain't gonna be the pick. I just have a feeling that he's not gonna be the pick, even if we are the number 1. I think it's gonna be a wing. Because you don't trade off Sadiq Bey for a big and then turn around and get another big. You just don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I think the Pistons told on themselves, with this trade. So I think the real target's going to be a wing player.
Now,
and speaking of Isaiah Livers, I wanted to touch on what Daryl said earlier. I'm not frustrated with him because I know he barely just came off of an injury. You know what I'm saying? Right. And for me to be critical of him right now would be illogical. But as far as Bagley goes, I'm just gonna say this: I like him, but I better see some more. From him because if he's gonna continue to ride the bench, maybe it's time to look for somebody else.
Yeah. And that's why, and the thing is, I'm not like mad, like angry at Livers, like his regression. I understand his regression too. Like before he got hurt, he was bricking a lot, but he a young player that's gonna go through that. Fair enough. I was just so frustrated about everything that was happening at once with this team because it's like you already had bad defense, and then you turn around, the worst thing that could happen, you lose Cade, and then it's like, then you got veterans that could have helped out, but you got Kimber who didn't want to play for the NBA team apparently. And he leaving. I'm like, all right, bye, bitch. And then I'm like, us just not having enough vets. And it's like, we got cap space next year. Let's say, I guess the real question I want to ask y'all, who do you think that Pistons should got? Because I don't want nothing to do with Scoot Henderson. I'm sorry. Call me retarded. I don't want nothing to do with him. I need more for that. If we the number 2 pick or something, right? Let's say we the number 2 pick. I ain't about to throw my dice with Scoot, man. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Call me crazy. I just can't roll with Scoot. I need something a little more with that pick.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Go ahead, B.
I'm gonna be honest. I really haven't seen much of Scoot, so I gotta look and see what about Scoot. So I really haven't seen much. Really haven't seen him at all, to be honest. So I can't say anything about it that I see for myself. Far as it's gonna depend. No, it's gonna depend that what they're gonna do. Far as like I said, when it comes to Wiseman, is this is something we're gonna move forward with in going to next season with Wiseman, or it's going to be just like this, just a experiment. We'd see what depends with the Wiseman, and also too, um, would I rather go for Victor? You want Wemby? Yeah, I would rather go for him, but like I said, it's gonna depend on to me, it's gonna depend on Wiseman, and it's gonna be like you said. I think Marvin Bagley, to me, to be honest, it's just ain't been he can't stay healthy. I can't rely on a guy, what I'm saying, that cannot stay healthy. And to when he's not available, what use we have for this on the team. So to me, I think Marvin Bagley should be gone. I believe these Pistons should trade him. Think smart. So, but like you said, to me, it all depends when it comes down to Wise. To me, it's Wiseman. It all depends. So
Yeah,
what I wasn't
Well,
going to say Victor, yes, but we'll see.
I think if they do, hey,
I think the Pistons told on themselves. When it came to this trade, that's why I'm feeling a little differently about their direction. I think they're gonna end up keeping Wiseman if he plays well. There's a possibility that Bagley be on the move if he keeps riding that pine. And if he keeps riding the pine, then yeah, I'm gonna agree with Daryl on that. I'm
yeah,
not giving up on Bagley, but I got to see more from him. But he got to get off. He got to get off that bench, man. I mean, I'm not cool with him riding the pine like that.
right.
That's not the way it's supposed to go. But back to the
Hey,
selection, I think it's going to be more so a wing player than a
yeah,
big. That's the way I'm feeling with it. No.
right. Oh, let me get somebody in chat. Hey, welcome Alaska Pink. How you doing? Glad you can make it. Shout out to her. Okay, so what's y'all opinion on? Do y'all are y'all see? We ain't got to the March Madness stuff, so it's kind of hard to ask y'all these questions now. Which I've been
Well,
looking at.
hold on. No, we got one thing. We got to talk about some other trades now.
Oh yeah,
We got to
yeah.
talk about some other trades now. We got to talk about this Kevin Durant one. We got to talk about this.
Yeah,
What
we
the?
do.
Matter of fact, you know what? I want to start with Hitman. I want to start with Hitman on this. What do you think
Okay.
about this Phoenix Suns with this Kevin Durant trade? And what do you
Yeah.
think of these other trades that's going on in the NBA? I want to get your take on it.
I'm gonna start. Okay, I'll start with Phoenix. I'm gonna say it like this: title or bust. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't get no damn Kevin Durant and then expect to just go to the finals. No, title or bust. Now, as far as Dallas goes, I think it's a cute situation, but I don't think it's gonna mean much because I think their ceiling is probably past what the second round and nothing more. But as far as the Warriors, I gotta watch out for them because just imagine if GP come off that bench and they actually give him the 3 months to heal, and he come off that bench and do something special with them. I really think if they're all healthy, I think their chemistry gonna come together again because they've been around each other. So I still have to look at them as the favorites, even though the Nuggets and the Grizzlies, they're cute stories, but I don't see either of them being there in the end. I really think experience gonna play out again. But if the Warriors stay healthy and they find a way to get some chemistry, I'm not counting them out. Now, do I automatically have them going to the finals? No, because it's contingent on their health. And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, I got one more. What you think about the Lakers? What they did?
I'm gonna say, too little, too late.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all. I'm glad you said something about that. Well, I'm glad you said the Lakers. It's too late for them.
Yeah.
Even if the Lakers does somehow make the play in, uh, they make the actual playoffs. We know they first round bye byes. I don't care if LeBron and AD. I don't care if they were both healthy. They're not getting past the first round. So,
I mean, it's
um,
cute that they won the game last night, but come on, man. Like the way this team is constructed, yeah, they got a shot to get into the play in and possibly get in, but come on, man. That's too much for
no,
them to overcome.
yeah, they not going nowhere. Now, I would say this: my LA Clippers. Now, I was not surprised they traded Luke Kennard. I mean Reggie Jackson. I was not surprised, and I seen when I've been watching Clippers games. I seen that end was coming. I'd seen that coming, but the Luke Kennard, I was surprised. But I understand we get Bones Highland, a nice little backup point guard. I know it didn't work out in Denver. Getting Mason Plumlee was huge. They helped that Zubac, especially with Zubac, if he gets in foul trouble, if he's hurt, so Mason Plumlee could slide on in. Get Eric Gordon, a huge upgrade over. No offense to Luke Kennard, but it's a huge upgrade. Getting Eric Gordon back to the Clippers. So um, I'm looking forward to see we trying to recruit Russell Westbrook, and uh, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. To get Russell Westbrook to the Clippers. Um,
What?
yes,
What?
yes, yes. Get Westbrook. Yes, get Westbrook.
Wait, you're not gonna just say that like, oh, it was some normal thing. They'll get Russell Westbrook to man, why? So y'all can start losing?
No, 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 no. If you actually look at it when Russell Westbrook and Paul George played together in OKC, Paul George had his best played his best ball with Russell Westbrook. You got to think too, that situation with the Lakers, man. We all know it wasn't a good fit. We all know because
Yeah.
LeBron always had to have the ball. Anthony Davis had to have the ball, so you knew that wasn't a good fit, and it was horrible. Now
So
you got a difference. You got a difference is too with the Clippers. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, they're not ball dominant like LeBron and AD. So now you get that point guard that they need because they still need. I don't like Terrence Mann playing as a point guard position, even though he plays well. I don't like it, but we need that veteran. We need that point guard, and you get Russ out there. He can play his game. Yes, okay, he's gonna make his mistakes. But one thing I'm gonna tell you about Westbrook, and I've been a fan of
mhm.
Westbrook for a long time. One thing I say about Westbrook, he's not gonna cheat you out the game. He's gonna play hard. And he's going to, whether you win or lose, he's going to play hard.
Okay. Now here's the thing. I'm not saying that y'all won't be able to get a major help with him. But what I'm saying is, I with Westbrook, man, in the playoffs, I just don't trust him in the playoffs. Regular season wise, it'd be a good move to bring him in here because, like you say, you need a veteran, you need a point guard that can match the level of talent with them. And it is a LeBron factor going on in LA that's not working out. You pretty much asking him to be something that we both know he's not. He needs to be with a group of guys where he can actually still be having his hands on the ball and kind of be himself a little bit. I get all that. But I just don't know if it's going to help y'all enough in the playoffs. That is what I don't know because he, like you said, he did play with Paul George before, and we saw the sad ending to that scenario, which was about 4 or 5 years ago when he was a little bit younger. And then on top of that, you have to remember this as well. He's went through with James Harden, somebody he came into the league with pretty much, and that ended bad. I'm not trying to say it will with y'all, but it just, that's a risky one for me. But I get you. I do understand, get you. But I had to kind of throw a little Westbrook shade there. I just had to kind of do that. It was
But
necessary.
you, but you got to think about like the other teams that want him. You think it'll work out with Chicago? No.
No, he ain't working out there. No, no.
Miami, the only problem, Miami, it could possibly, but the problem is with Miami, you know, Jimmy Butler got to have the ball. And
Yeah,
sometimes
oh yeah.
Bana Adebayo, he has to have the ball at times. It could work in Miami. I just don't. His best fit is with the Clippers because don't get me wrong, with Miami, Eric Spoelstra is a great coach. He's one of the top 15
Yeah.
great coaches of all time to me. But if I had to put my chips on, I'd rather go with a coach like Tyler. Tyler is a little bit better coach than Eric Spoelstra, and the system be easier for it'd be a little more easier for him for Russ in the Clipper uniform than Miami. Not saying Russ would not adjust to it, but Miami plays this whole half court offense. They don't really like pushing the ball. I know the Clippers don't like pushing the ball like that either, but they would rather push the ball down court a little more than Miami does. And I know it ain't gonna work in Chicago because DeRozan got to have the ball. Zach LaVine got to have the ball. Vujicic in somewhere gotta have the ball. So
Yeah. I feel you, man. It's just Kawhi Leonard to me is quietly a undercover diva in his own damn right, though. He just quieter with it. But I still feel you. I think out of those teams you named, he is the best fit will be the Clippers at this point because they can just literally plug him in now, and I think that almost might be the perfect situation. Now, if you ask me about the situation involving Dallas right now, Dallas is going to be a higher power machine. Problem is, I still don't trust them defensively. And y'all gave up a couple of good, decent defenders for Kyrie, but y'all got matchup problems. But it's just that I don't trust y'all enough defensively. With KD, I'm with y'all on the same thing with KD. Is chip or not this time? Because I mean, y'all go be in the Final Four anyway. I know. I just know the Suns will be without KD. At this time, I need to see a chip for this man. So Chris Paul can get his old ass on somewhere. Love Chris Paul to death, but boy. It's about time. Like I said, I agree with him, man. Chip or bust, because y'all couldn't get it a couple years ago, and then with who's the other team that made a crazy trade?
I would before you go there. I understand where you and Hitman coming from with the Phoenix Suns, title or bust. I'm not gonna go that far with that. And the reason why I say that, yes, I know Kevin Durant. Um, I know Kevin Durant is the top three, top 4 or 5 best player in the league right now when
Mm-hmm.
healthy. I know you got Devin Booker. I know you got Chris Paul. I get all that. I get y'all saying title or bust, but I'm not gonna go as far as that. I'm not gonna go as far as say title or bust. And the reason why I say because you got to think too, it takes time
Yeah.
to it takes time to get adjusted with each other. You know what I'm saying? We with Durant, yeah, with Book, with Chris Paul, it's gonna take time. You know what I'm saying? That chemistry for them to work, you know. And I hear it on Sports Center, first take, hear it all this and first, you know, the title or bust. I'm not gonna go as far as that. You know what I'm saying? If they make the finals and lose, they make it. If they make the finals and win, that's great. I would go as far as conference finals because you got to think. At least to me, you get to the conference finals. If you win or lose, I'm good with that because now you got to the next season. That y'all Chris Paul, if he's still there, if he doesn't retire, you got the whole following season to get the whole entire chemistry together, bring some pieces in for
Right.
get that championship. So
And see,
yes, I
and I'm
know you
glad.
got the complement pieces with you bringing Terrence Ross off the buyout. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I may have to check that out. I may not. I may not. I think they got Kemba. I believe. I'm not. I could be wrong, but they got some pieces. You know, to contend for a title, but I'm not gonna go as far as say it's title or bust.
And
That's just
see,
me.
this is why I wish this trade would have happened during the off season because I do agree with you on that, without a doubt. Like, why? Y'all know y'all gonna move these guys go get traded. Why not do the same damn package now? You knew Phoenix was gonna have it out, and they just wasted everybody's time during most of the season. Then you wait to the trade deadline to move these guys. Like at this point, this is another reason why I'm getting really kind of sick of the NBA too as a fan because there's too much movement going on. Like I'm so freaking sick of all these trades every time we look up. Next off season, this guy wanted out. This guy go one out. This guy go one out. Like God, what is up with the NBA? Like what the hell happened to it? It's like everybody going there for it's like a year, 2 year rental at best or something before everybody want to be gone. And
Le-
I just don't remember seeing this growing up. Now I will say this: we talking about Kevin Durant, the Nets, Mikal Bridges. Oh my goodness.
Brooklyn, they got a nice team with
Yeah.
Bridges and Finney Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie being back over, Cam Johnson.
Oh my
You got
God.
them guys. They got a
Cam Thomas.
they got a Cam Thomas. That and then you still got Seth Curry over there. Hey, you still got Joe Harris. You got Wannabe. Hey, you still got guys over there that gonna play. Now Ben Simmons, that's a whole nother story. I'm not gonna
It's
get into
almost
Ben.
no. It's OV for him. OV done.
I'm not getting into that. You're right. I'm not getting into it with Ben Simmons. I mean, you score 4 points and 4 rebounds, and I'm done with Ben
Ain't no excuse
Simmons.
for that
He's
shit, man.
robbing the Brooklyn Nets to death. And he doesn't even got to put a damn mask on. He's robbing them.
Man,
Yeah,
33 million my ass. I ain't even fucking that.
yeah.
I'm
For
glad you
that,
bro. They is
33 mil and you putting up those pedestrian stats? Come on, man. That's robbery.
Yeah,
right.
I'm done.
And,
I was done with Ben Simmons when that Philadelphia Atlanta Hawks series, and when he
oh
didn't.
man.
I was done with him.
And
I was done with.
I should knew he was gonna be done then that year too, because that was the year before we got K. And it was so funny because Josh Jackson was on our team at that point in time, and I remember him telling Ben Simmons straight to his face. You could read his lips. He literally said, "You a bitch," and that's exactly what happened in the playoffs later that year. He's true that he was a bit. Oh my God! Bravo! What is up, bro? What have you, man? How you been, bro? Good to see you. I ain't seen you in a minute, yo. Bravo, man. This is one of the longtime follower of we done plenty of shows. He's been King knows him well. We all know him, man. This is the homie, man. He's been around us for years, bro. Bravo. Good to see you. Sup to you, man. Hope all has been well. Keep saving lives out there, man. Keep doing your thing. He said, you think Marvin Bagley days are we just discussed this. We said if he kind of keeps if he can't stay healthy and it's like he can't unseat one of Bagley, unseat one of the guys we already have now, it's kind of he might end up be on the move because if he gotta stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? It's been kind of an issue there with him health wise.
Yeah.
And, he's on contract.
To cut you off, no, but it's like I'm right along with you, man. He keeps riding that pine, his ass got to go straight up. I'm giving him a little hope here and there, but you can't keep riding the pine and expect me to be cool with you.
Right.
Yeah,
You can't be street clothes, man. You gotta have that uniform.
At this point, I forgot he was on the team. Like, for real, it's got to that point. It's like, yeah, man, but yeah, man, Brooklyn, they loaded, bro. I'm so jealous of them having. Like, they starting to look sort of similar to how they looked right before they initially signed KD to the contract and Kyrie and them. They might be more depth than they was then. Back when they had my man's what's his name, D'Angelo Russell that time when they made the playoffs. The year before they got KD, they looked more depth than they was then when they had him and Jared Allen. And man, that's the place we need to be going to this all season to get a free agent or two from that team, not named Ben Simmons. But yeah, man, like some of the trades was crazy. But I'm telling you, man, I think that honestly, I think the Lakers, like I said, their days are pretty much numbered. I don't know what's gonna happen in the future with them when it comes to AD. When I'm hearing that you didn't want to stand up and support LeBron when he gets the scoring record, that don't look too good. That look like foreshadowing to me. I don't know where he's gonna end up at. But yeah, we'll see what happened. And while we still on the subject of basketball, I know you wanted to get into the. What's going on here, man?
Before you go in, though, I got something else to say about that. I mean, I think AD with his injury history, I think he's gonna have a tougher time to get traded. Go ahead, no.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
one
that's
more
what I.
one more
Huh?
one more thing I'm gonna say this too. Another trade, it was a sleeper trade to me,
Hmm.
and it fits well. That Josh Hart going to New York Knicks for Cam Reddish, which I know Cam Reddish it didn't work out in New York. I hope
Yeah, I
he
wish
has
you.
something. I hope it works out with Portland. But that Josh Hart trade, that Josh Hart going to New York. Now they got another scorer, and he's going to play some defense. He's going to buy in Tom Thibodeau's defensive scheme. I'm telling you, that Josh Hart, that's a sleeper trade. In New York,
Mhm.
I know I've seen the highlights when they beat Atlanta yesterday. Josh Hart fits perfectly with them. You get that Brunson and Randall and RJ Barrett. Now you get Josh Hart. You get this guy who can come off the bench and give you at least about 15, 20 points. That's a sleeper pick. I like that. I like that one when New
Yeah,
York did.
yeah. I just wish we could have got Cam Reddish.
That's another subject for another day on that.
Yeah. Oh, he got a question. Do you think we can start Wiseman and Durant together? Was our lack of shooting that way? No, actually. Now here's the interesting thing about that. Everybody's been kind of worried about them playing together. If they was to start together, Wiseman has the ability to stretch the floor. He even tried to attempt the 3-point shot yesterday, and he probably tried today. I think the game might be over probably by now because it was on the road against the Magic. But yeah, Wiseman definitely has the ability to shoot, but he just need more playing time. And two, it's not like the Andre Drummond era where you got three centers playing from the 3 to the 5. You still you got an actual shooter playing small forward in Bogey. You have Jaden Ivey, who's actually been shooting the ball pretty well as of late, and then you still got Killian, whoever else. So it's not the same quite kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Wiseman can score. So the difference was back in the day, them dudes only was able to score at the rim at best. A lot of times off rebound. So I don't understand what Blazers doing. They traded Josh Hart and hit Reddish and Kevin Knox. Grant might leave them in the offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if they blow the team trading Lillard. No, see, to me, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna let y'all chime on this one. I feel like that the Blazers trying to get a little more strength down low, because you know what I'm saying. I just feel like they got Grant, they got Lillard. I forget the other score they probably got. I know they just traded Josh Hart, but I think they trying to get some strength down low. What y'all think? I don't know if that means that the trade didn't work.
I wanna I'm gonna let Hitman go first on this and the previous question that Bravo put on, but I'm gonna let Hitman go and answer both of those questions and see what he think.
See, the thing with the Blazers is I don't know what the heck they're doing because, like,
Me either.
again, I mean, Shaden Sharp blowing up and uh, just getting Cam Reddish. I mean, where's he gonna fit? You gonna put him? You gonna back him up behind Grant? Because realistically, that's where I see him going.
Yeah.
You're not gonna take Sharp off the. You're not gonna take Shaden Sharp off the court. You're not gonna take.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna stick Grant at the 3, which to me, honestly, even though that's where he is, that don't make any sense. I mean, who's your 4?
Yeah.
I don't think they answer that question with this trade.
Now I thought the 4 would have been Kevin Knox, but even still though, I get where you're coming from. Like I really don't know what to make of the Blazers. They always been weird like that. But go ahead, Daryl.
Um, let's see. Well, I wanted to say now unfortunately I think Anthony Simons is hurt. Um, I don't know if it was his injury. I don't know how long he's going to be out. So the Blazers, I don't get why they did. The only thing I could make it think of because they needed a small forward. Uh, because at times I seen a couple of Portland games that they was having Jeremy Grant playing the forward, and that's his normal position. Now I can see the party depends on matchups, and then you got to think too. Nurkic, he's been in and out, so that's another thing. Yeah, I think to the Western Conference, it's like some of the certain teams they get the playing in small ball, so it all depends on the matchups.
Yeah.
Um, so I just think that I somewhat get it, but I don't get it all the way, if you know what I mean. It just
Yeah.
to me it has to come down depends on who they matching up with, who they going against. Now Portland does come in town next it was in a couple weeks, March the 6th. They do
Mm-hmm.
come in town, so we'll see how they work out with that situation with the team. So like I said, I like Shaden Sharp, but Shaden Sharp is at times been up and down. He's been inconsistent. I know he's still a young player, but he's been up and down, inconsistent a little more. So you bring Lisa Cam Reddish at he hasn't played much, in a little while, but you bring that little veteran presence over. You bring Kevin Knox, that little veteran presence over to get some scoring. I think at times too, sometimes Portland lacks that scoring outside of Dame Lillard and Jeremy Grant and now Simons. They need a little more scoring.
Yeah. You know what? And I know it's a little off script, but I'm gonna speak bigger picture here. I'm starting to see cracks with this one and done style, this whole one and done structure. It's like every time somebody comes out, you expect them to play right away. And what I'm seeing with this one and done structure, there's more questions than actual proven answers. So even though I appreciate them coming into the league, early, but I think the development or lack thereof, that's what's killing for me is killing the game. Look at what Daryl just said. Shaden Sharp. I mean, up and down. You got all these other one and done players up and down. I understand that they got to find a way, but come on, man. This lack of development is killing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of been feeling the same way too. Like, and that's another. Yeah, that's kind of why excuse me. I prefer Donnie. Welcome to the show. He actually took the words out of my mouth. I was thinking like, man, should these college players be forced to play at least 2 years? But then again, it's like if you go back to the old days, you had guys like Kobe and LeBron them coming out of high school. So it's like I don't know. It's just the way the game has changed, though. I think that's the real issue because now players are coming in, they coming out of college and then now they're asked to, come right into the fire. And then you got other situations where a team might draft you, but you might not start because, name me all the players that's been in the finals these last couple of years that's been one and done players. You probably got some guys that's in the top of the league right now. But then it's like, over the last couple of years, I just think the situation is you got a lot of black basketball players coming from other angles that aren't really college players. They come from other leagues. And I think that's what's kind of making things a little bit lopsided too, because back in the day when we was all growing up and shit were, on our way to being grown, we had, when you took a foreign player coming from another country or whatever, you knew that was going to be one of those things that you had to wait because it wasn't always popular to do that. And everybody wanted to recreate Dirk Nowitzki, like that one team that passed on freaking Dwayne Wade and 2 other really big name players that was in the finals, and Carmelo Anthony. I ain't going to say who that team was, but, when that happened back then. But now, taking players that all come from overseas, like Luka, et cetera, and other players, like Wagner, all these different foreign people, they come out of different settings. They're not always college basketball. So I feel like now, you don't even when you look at LaMelo Ball, LaMelo Ball is like, dude, you need to take the game seriously. Like he just the way he plays, it don't fit to me with a lot of players. He just plays his way, and then it's like the team has to play different without him. Like when I look at the Hornets play, I see two different teams. I see when LaMelo runs the team, and I see when you got Terry Rozier, who to me like the leader, the real leader of the damn squad, in my opinion, because of the way he plays. I don't feel like they mix. And that's why they're not tough. Because I looked at their roster, I'm like, they got some pieces I wouldn't mind having over here. So what the hell is going on? And I think it's a lot because of what Hitman sort of said, but I think it's just the level of the game, the way it's being played, and the maturity of the players. It's not the same. Because, it's different when you got Kobe Bryant coming out of high school and he wants to be a champion. It's different when you got LeBron James who wants to be a champion. It's different when you get, who was another guy? I think Kevin Garnett, I want to say, was or Gary Payton, one of them guys came out of high school. It was different with them than this modern day era. These guys, they play on social media. They for social media. They're for their money, their contract, and just do them. Nobody cares about winning anymore until they get about 27, 28 years old. And that was the thing that kind of tore us to like K. Because I think K was what, a 1 or 2 year one and done, right?
Yeah, he was one.
Yeah, he was a one and done, but he comes in obviously a little bit different mentally. No, he still got to show it and prove it more, but I'm just saying like he's so far been the one that's a little bit different. I think maybe because our grooming process. So some of that is good scouting by Weaver, but yeah, I feel Hitman a little bit, but it's just because of the past. That's probably why they stopped having people being able to come out of high school and come straight into the league. And now a lot of these players saying, well, bump that. I'm going to, G League, or I'm doing this and that and the third. But I'm starting to see that college stuff, man. I don't know. I think the league need to do something about it, man. Like, it need to be some other qualifications for players who haven't gone to college, but they play pro basketball elsewhere. And I think for college students, man, you might have to push that to like 2 years. Because that's something. Because it's like, I don't know, man. No matter what, a rookie go struggle in the NBA, but it's kind of hard to figure out. I have a hard time answering that, despite me just going on 5 minutes and running my goddamn mouth. But y'all know what I mean, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. But transitioning.
We got some all-star.
You took the words out my mouth. See, great co-host. So, yeah, we got the All-Star weekend approaching. Pistons play their last game for the All-Star break against the Magic. So, what's going on? What y'all want to see for All-Star weekend, man? Let's get going. Start with you, Daryl. No.
I'm gonna defer on to Hitman. I'm gonna let Hitman go first.
Okay.
The only thing that interests me about the so-called All-Star weekend, I want to see the youngest get in. That's the only thing that excites me about this so-called All-Star weekend, because everything else about the All-Star weekend is just blah, blah, blah. Same old, same old.
Okay.
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 I can't blame him. Shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm not looking at me personally. I'm not looking for this slam dunk contest. I really, it's been horrible to me.
Yeah.
It's just not the same feeling anymore. Like you used to get excited, get ready to watch a slam dunk contest. Now it's just like, no, it's not even watchable. Especially you get so many times, you get way too many uh attempts to get your dunk in and stuff. I think it should be you should get at least 2 or 3 attempts. If you can't complete your dunk, you're done. You don't win it. I just no. But far as 3-point shootout, I'm looking forward to it. The skills thing, I'm looking for their skills because of Ivy's in it. He's the skills challenge day. Ivy's will be in that, and I'm also looking forward to Ivy and Duran for the tomorrow. I believe, is it tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow for the rookie sophomores game. So we definitely be looking forward to that. So it's gonna be interesting for that. 'Cause to me that's the most exciting one for the All Star as far as the celebrity game. But who cares? But a lot of people don't care about. But celebrity game can be interesting depending on who's the celebrity. But but other than that, the actual All Star game, you know, we'll see. You get some guys, Joel B talking about he may not play. You get some guys that can't play, and you see guys like, don't get me wrong, should be in that should be in as that, or some guys that shouldn't be in there. So we'll see. I'm looking for that rookie sophomores and probably just the 3-point shootout, and that's the actual All Star game. See what it'll come down to. That's pretty much it on my end.
You know what? Donnie is on my level right now. See, he said it's cool. Ivy, Pablo, Jabari on the challenge team together. See, what's they got that one challenge, that one game they call it the special challenge game or whatever it's called? Like what we saw with Cade winning last year. Him and some of the other young cats that got drafted, it was all going against each other in the game. It's literally turned into that for me. Like, I don't care for the main All-Star game or the big name players. I like the young players that's coming into the league. I like the game where they all get to play together. And the 3-point contest is actually what's been hot. Like, I didn't see my man's the center, what's his name? Cat. I didn't see him winning that last year, the 3-point contest, but he won it. I thought it would have been. I thought Luke would have been a surprise one to win, but he couldn't. He had struggled. And then, as far as the slam dunk contest go, man, I wanted to throw up last year watching Jalen Green. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, bro. I'm like, are you serious, bro? And he kept trying to do the most difficult dunk last year, and I'm like, bro, just do something. And it's literally come to that. And I think the reason why is because you don't have guys really in the NBA anymore who specify their game as a dunker like they used to. Because you remember, you used to have point guards like, what's my man for the Knicks back in the day? The one that was on Uncle Drew, I forget his name. Nate Robinson or David. What's his name?
Nate
yeah,
Robinson.
You used to have guys who specify the game and dunking the ball. Now it's just like who actually come close to looking like a real dunker, they just get in the challenge. Now it's like there's nobody who care for doing it no more. And then now you got a lot of players too, as far as like I said, the young talents game. That's what I look for, because you want to see what the future could look like when they actually are in the All-Star game, the big game one day. Some of these same kids now, like we saw with Cade and the young. Pretty much, I look for the All-Star game as anything involved for the young guys in the 3-point contest. Anything involved for the young players. Other than that, I care less about the veterans of the team, the big names. I care less about it. If you ain't a player in your first 3 years in the NBA, I don't want to see you at the All-Star. That's pretty much what it is for me.
All right.
Like that's all I care for now, All-Star game wise. Yeah, man. Like, because if not to talk about football, but we had the Pro Bowl recently a couple weeks ago. That was weird too. Like, they don't even play a game no more. It's like it almost looked like the combine. Like, what the hell? Like, that was weird.
I feel like what they was trying to do with the Pro Bowl is like, again, like put it towards the skills competition, because real talk, they used to have that back in the day. It's that they had it after the Super Bowl. But as far as the NBA,
usually it was.
But as far as the NBA goes, you want to grow your league, showcase your young talent in the actual All-Star game.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. That's exactly where I'm at.
But here's the thing too. They got this.
I think that's
these votes. The votes. You get this the players vote, 25% is the player votes, and 25% is the coach the votes, and then you got 50% is the fan votes.
Yeah.
So that fan votes is taking majority. Oh, they want to see this player, they want to see that player, and then this is third. And then you get some players that should be in the All-Star game that's not. I just think this. I
Yeah.
think they should go back to how the voting was back then. When you add these fans, voting and and all this splitting these votes up. I think it's just none of these to just take like, oh wow, you voted this player in to get an All-Star game, and he was hurt. He didn't do this. He was inconsistent, but he gets an All-Star game because he's popular in that aspect. It's like, come on now, it's just that's the part I don't
Another
like.
thing
Go ahead, no.
and I so agree with that because it's the same in football too. And the other thing is too, like, you know what else is making the game kind of lame now? In the All-Star game, you never really play your hardest game like that because it's just a fun little circus game that you take a break from the regular usual life of the NBA. And it's like I noticed another thing is when you already in regular season games don't play real defense in the NBA no more, and then you turn around now go to the All-Star game where it's really finna be watered down. That's probably another thing right there. On top of the fan getting 50% of the votes, to me, I feel like it should be 50% on the coaches, 25 or 30% of the rest of the league, and then like a 20% of the fan vote, because the fan votes is making stuff feel unlegitimate. Like you don't trust nothing because it's like, oh, it's fan voted this, fan voted that, and like the fan votes on NFL had you thinking Aiden Hutchinson was going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, and it didn't come out like that. And because the fan votes dictating everything too much, people getting confused off the actual votings from the league and the actual versus the fan, because you looking at, oh, he was voted this, but it's like, no, it's a fan vote though. Like you gotta be careful. And I hate that. Like it don't feel authentic no more.
Hmm.
Like, god damn. It just doesn't, man. Like, but yeah, man. So anything else y'all want to say for as far as that topic goes?
Nothing much to say, man. I heard nothing much. What about you here, man?
My one thing is, man, like I said again, flip the percentages with the vote. I'm definitely down with that. Take it from 50 to 20 for the fans. Like, you just gonna have these veteran players ride the pine, play this glamorized scrimmage game for a check, and that's basically what it is. So hand all the veterans a check and let the youngest play.
Yep. All right. Yeah, that sounds much better. Yeah. Oh man. Let me ask y'all a quick question. This is gonna be a fun little topic. So switching back to football real quick. I gotta ask y'all who out obviously in the NFC, the number one QB was Jalen Hurts. Your honest opinion, who was number two?
Go ahead, man.
Man, who's number two? I gotta say straight up, without any chaser.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, it has to be, I'm gonna go with Stafford when healthy. That's my choice.
I was talking about more off last year's performance than like overall.
Oh, it was really tough. Well, I would have to say, for the short time, I have to go with Brock Purdy because of the poise that he showed.
Right.
That will have to be my choice.
Okay. So let's say you Daryl.
Jared
Who do you
Goff.
think was the second?
Jared Goff.
Excuse me, I need to get my barf bag.
Jared Goff. And I'm dead serious when I say this because you got to think Jared Goff, especially the last 10 games of the regular season, he has not really turned the ball over. His completion percentage was 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 good. Was a good. Matter of fact, great. Um, his passing yards was great. Um, I mean, who else can you count on? You can trust Dak. Dak Prescott turned the ball over every time he plays.
Yeah,
Kirk Cousins, he was up and down. Who else? Brady, when before he retired, Brady wasn't playing well. Uh, Carolina's quarterback, they had Baker Mayfield. No. Sam Darnold was hurt, majority of the time. So
no,
no. So Aaron Rodgers he didn't play well to his standards. So Justin Fields had his moments. Brock Purdy
hmm
was a rookie. Yes, I did the Brock Purdy. I understand that he played a little bit of a 7 game sample size, so he played well. But
yeah.
I'm going with, like I said, I'm going with
That
Jared Goff as far as the second best quarterback in the NFC.
and that's literally then by default because of everything else you just said.
I
Because
mean,
here's the thing.
Stafford was hurt. Okay, Geno Smith played well. But if I had to choose between Geno Smith and
Yeah,
Jared Goff, I'm taking Jared Goff. I'm taking Jared Goff.
I feel you. I feel now his completion percentages to me were I felt like every game I watched he just averaging between 58 to no more than 62 in completion percentages, and I'm like, bro, but I I let that go because in the fact that he was only passing for 6 yards per pass attempt, I didn't care so much about that. I was like, okay, at least we won the game. He didn't turn the ball over. Cool. He was to me he was solid. He was solid. Like he was overall, he was more stable as a quarterback this year, so I can see that. I do feel a lot of it, like you said, for the reasons you said, a lot of it feel like it was bad default. Like it was nobody else really challenging him and Hurts like that. Hurts, I think, would have been number one regardless. Uh, with Golf, I think if somebody had played a little bit better, they probably been over him. That's why I'm like that. I'm happy for Golf, definitely. But that's kind of why I'm at Prescott. Like, what the fuck? Because it's like I just don't get it. Like, I feel like this is a bad year for him on turnovers. I think every quarterback goes through that. I don't know if that's really truly just him. You know what I'm saying?
The
But yeah,
the man makes, I forgot how many million a year, and you still turn over, and you every game you
I
turn
think he
around,
gets
you
like
throwing an interception. Come on,
yeah,
man.
he gets about. I think they say he make about 40, 45. Yeah, I feel you.
40 you
You got a point
45
about
million
that one
dollar
too, though.
quarter
I can.
you $45 million quarterback. You playing with so-called America's team, so-called, and you come in every game you
Yeah,
turn when you throwing a pick, you pick six or it's just a pick. Every game, like come on, dude. And you think
yeah.
you do wonder why Jerry Jones was
I,
hesitant about paying you in the first place. You wonder why. And then when he paid you, you play the performance that you play. Like, come on, man, you play so good against bad teams, but then when it comes to
right.
good teams, you play suspect. No, please. That's why and then I forgot about um what you call it for Daniel Jones. He played well. But you got to think too, with Daniel Jones, he had a coach. He got a good coach, Brian Daboll. So
Yeah,
I'm not taking away for Daniel Jones. He did his
Daniel
thing,
Jones might.
but I would put Jared Goff over Daniel Jones. Jared Goff is the number to me was the number two.
Yeah,
That was that's second best quarterback in the NFC.
A close candidate probably would be between Daniel Jones and what's the other one for Seattle? What's my man name? Geno
Geno
Smith,
Smith. Yeah.
because they would be like the closest to. So if you will put Jared Goff too, I think based off situation, I think I would actually put Geno 3, but I have to put Daniel Jones at a strong 4 because he actually played very efficient. Like he has turnovers and stuff, but he played way more efficiently, and he proved that he could win a damn playoff game. Which, with that roster, the way it kind of is, and a first-year head coach, that's impressive. You could say that with coaching can bring the best out of a player. So he did prove that. So to me, he deserves to be fourth. But as far as 5 go, I would say the 5th best quarterback in the NFC. Weirdly enough, I hate to put him on here, but weirdly enough, I would actually say that it's tough. I want to say Kirk Cousins, but Kirk has been, he has a lot of talent, but he was underwhelming. But he played good enough to be like 5th. If you catch my drift, you see what I'm saying?
I can roll with that. I can roll with
Because
that.
it's like, bro, you balled, and that's why it was so heartwarming to see us play them at home the way we did. We was at home and we got to his ass because it's like we got to finally turn and make him feel like what Stafford and even Goff last season went through. Dealing with Minnesota, how the pressure was always in our face, in Stafford's face for years, dealing with them 2 edge rushers they had, and then we try and play one-dimensional football to beat them, and they just had their way. Now it's like in this type of game, they thought they was going to come here and get us again. Like, nope, we fall for it this time. And I was at work when that game happened, and I was like, bro, we really got these dudes by 2 scores, and then we just screwed them on another play and got to them. Something, what the hell is going on? Because like when that game was going on, I'm like, damn, where the Lions probably play? Yes, Owen, Kirk Cousins is number 5. He's literally was the most mid quarterback this year. Like he was really good because you can't. He was really good, but not in a winning season good. But he was still better than Prescott. That's situation what I'm saying. He was better than Prescott this year, but he was just not good enough to be top 3. That's literally what's because you ain't putting Aaron Rodgers there. You ain't putting Prescott there. Tom Brady, Kane could go there. You're not putting Desmond Ridder there. You're not putting now I thought, I thought who had a very decent start to the season, Marcus Mariota was solid in his first few games of the year. I thought he played well. The first few games, I thought he was looking okay for what he was. And then his true colors showed up as I expected. That's all I'll say. Like, that's like 2 or 3 games. I thought he was okay. And then now I was like, yeah, I knew that was happening. But nobody else was good. So, to me, Kirk Cousins was only at 5th place by default. Had another quarterback or 2 outplayed him, he wouldn't have made the top 5. So, like, you throw on the Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, like, I expect more. But you can be 5.
Well, it was another quarterback that we haven't mentioned. Unfortunately, he did get hurt, and it sat him out for to me the rest of the season. Jameis Winston. If Jameis Winston was healthy, if he was healthy, I'm telling you, he played well when he played. When he got hurt, it was a wrap. You
I
wouldn't get
feel
done
so
for
bad
Andy
for
Dalton.
Winston.
No, yeah. I think his career. I think his window is closed. With Winston, I think his window is closed to me. So
You know what? I feel so bad for Winston because I feel like if you put him in a true decent situation, he can flourish. I do. It's I still, if the Lions don't draft a quarterback, I'll take them as a backup. Like it's that serious. You know what I'm saying? Like I do
Well,
want to see him go somewhere to succeed. If I'm Jameis Winston, I might stay in that division and hop over there to Carolina if I'm him, or
yeah.
either go to Indy because Indy, even Houston might be a good. I hate to say it, but Houston might even be a good fit for him because if he go over there, they draft a quarterback unless they take a quarterback in the first round, then they got to start the quarterback. But depending on who may not be looking for a quarterback in the top 10 of the draft, I'm going to those because he could be a good help as a veteran. I think start over somebody. I would like to see him stay healthy, but it's kind of sad with him, man, because I kind of been quietly rooting for him too, man, to find some success, and it just sucks. Hopefully he can figure out something. He do put the work in the off season, but you just hate to see it. Yeah, that. So Lions, obviously the coach they added last week apparently still getting offers for offensive coordinating jobs. I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Another word on the street is Ben Johnson. I kind of touched on this earlier, but he's saying that in 4 years that he was here, he was telling in an interview, I think it was 10-20 minutes or something. He was
Yeah.
saying that he was happy to re-sign here as the OC because he liked the place where we were at. He think the ownership's been real active. He thinks that the situation with the coaching staff is good. And this is what I was saying before last week too, man. It's like it's probably a good idea that maybe instead of him just rushing into a job, like let's say we had another good year this year, and then you're gonna be hot candidate again. I think he should just go ahead and put it on ice this time because it's like you want to get to a certain place in your career first before you just because think about I said this before, think about taking a job as an offensive minded coach. Yeah, it looked like a good idea for the offensive minded coach to go into a situation where it's a young quarterback and grooming, but if your franchise they going to ain't right, he's going to fail. And then you're going to ruin his career or any coach career that's regardless what side of the ball they coach on. You're going to ruin their chances to get other jobs as head coaches because it's like the way it's going, it's always seemed like it's one and done. Like you ain't heard nobody reach out to Cliff Kingsbury yet because his coaching methods didn't work. And he's an offensive minded guy. And you haven't heard a thing about that. Everybody's been saying OC. Even when you look at Doug Peterson, he can say something because he at least won a Super Bowl. But had he not won that Super Bowl, he probably wouldn't be getting a head coaching job either. So for these guys to rush out and take these jobs, you got to understand it's a reason why a franchise, if you go and take a job for a franchise that's been bad for at least the last 5 years, you got to be skeptical about taking that because it's like you going in there and they asking you, they taking you because you really good coordinating wise and offensive minded wise. That doesn't mean you're gonna be able to change that franchise out of that funk. And the Lions technically kind of proved that. You know what I'm saying? We didn't Dan Campbell's to me not the most analytical, S's and O's type coach, but he had to bring in a whole staff to help him out. And that's why I kind of respect what's going on over there in Carolina. We know they brought Jim Caldwell over there. He's going to be doing like a consultant role for them. And at this point, for him, man, I don't think he should even try to be a head coach anymore because it's like the franchises go do him dirty. And that's just what it's going to be. And I think the consultant role will fit him just fine. For me personally, I would love to see him be a head coach again because he didn't deserve to not be ever a head coach again because we let him go when it wasn't even his fault. 100% of it. But yeah, man, I'm just happy for Ben Johnson though, man. Like he gets to come in and now, kind of hopefully he can stay here longer than just 2 years and then, what I'm saying, and build something here foundation wise that we can win off of, man. That's all I'm hoping. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm happy for see Ben Johnson stay. Um,
Yeah,
and I'm really happy for it. So going to the next season, and this Lions offense is really going to be more exciting, and
yeah,
everybody get to see it. I know hopefully, we'll get some national televised games going to next season. People in the world they can actually say, "Hey, I want to see this Lions team." So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that. So, but speaking of head coaching positions, right quick, I'm not gonna go too far deep in it, but
mm-hmm.
Eric Bieniemy, man, Eric
Yeah,
Bieniemy. Um, this is crazy, man. I'm sick and tired of Eric Bieniemy not getting a head coaching job. It's just mind-boggling. This man putting in the work as an offensive coordinator. He has done it. People, okay, rightfully Andy Reid, he's offensive genius. But Eric Bieniemy, since he became a promoted, became an offensive coordinator, their offense been in the top five every year. Every
yeah,
year. And this man gets so many interviews and never wants to say any team say, hey, we're gonna hire we want you as our head coach to lead our football team. It's just sad. I feel bad for the enemy. This man putting in the work. He shows it. But people are just, I know what's these organizations where they think they like, oh, well, you know, they don't believe that it's really him. It's more Andy Reid. You know what I'm saying? And
No,
that's the
it's not
same
even
thing.
just.
Yeah. And that's the
It's
same thing I'm saying when it comes to Byron Leftwich.
yeah.
Oh, because even when Byron Leftwich, before Tom Brady got there to Tampa Bay, Byron Leftwich was the offensive coordinator with Jameis Winston was the quarterback. And look what
Mm-hmm.
the offense they didn't know the offense was still good. But Jay saying, oh, because of Bruce Arians get the credit. And now, you know, he lose his job, even though they made the playoffs, he lose his job. For it's just mind boggling me. And then just with this Airbnb, this man he got two Super Bowls, been to two out of three Super Bowls he won it, and he doesn't get the head coaching job, get the opportunity at least. Nah, he's supposed to be getting interviewed by the Washington Commanders for their offensive coordinator position. And me personally, if I was him, I wouldn't take that job. You got a great opportunity where you at with Kansas City. Now, if he
Right.
was gonna say, well, Baltimore, I don't know how would it work, especially you don't know who Lamar Jackson's gonna play, especially if he gets franchise tag. So
Yeah.
we don't know. So, but it just like I said, Airbnb man. Listen, I'm praying that he does finally get an opportunity to be a head coach and lead a football team that he can show and prove people that hey, it wasn't just about Andy Reid. Andy Reid was just the only reason why the Kansas City Chiefs offense was so successful. Let
Right.
me
And
show you.
Andy Reid just gave him credit during the game damn Super Bowl win. Like
Yeah,
he was the first person he named. And it was
yeah,
like what people don't understand is too, like, okay, like this thing about oh well he don't interview well. What the who I don't even who can tell who interviews well or not. Like, cause my thing is we as the fans ain't hearing the interview. Nobody gives us any information outside the interview don't go well. How are the interviews being constructed? How are these going to go on? Because that just sounds so stupid. The interviews didn't go well. And I think that's bullshit. And we should know as Lions fans that's bullshit because
uh,
when we interviewed Robert Saleh, we interviewed, I think, him twice. And he tells us, oh, he doesn't interview well. Then how he get the Jets? How did the Jets get him there? Not
mhm.
saying, picking who better between him or Campbell. I'm just saying, like, don't tell me that he just gave y'all a bad interview. How did the interview go? Like,
Right.
I don't understand this thing about interview. What was said or not said that y'all felt like it should be a bad interview? Was he sweating? Was he mumbling? What was it? Like, it killed me with just throwing him. It was a bad interview. Like, that's go, oh, well, it was a bad interview. Oh, well, that means he ain't worthy of being the head coach. No makes sense. Or, because it's making me think about that Ryan Pace scenario over there in Miami, where it's like, are y'all trying to get these black coaches in here and have them tank for quarterbacks or something? And then when they don't want to do it, you want to fire them, then set the situation as it is now, and then you bring in your Mike McDaniel, and all of a sudden now you want to try to win. Because that's what I'm starting to notice real hard. You know, you asking our people to destroy their reputation and what they worked hard to build up just for because you trying to milk the fans. That's all it's starting to sound like.
That's what happened with Houston, man. The Texas, man. You get David Culley. He became a head coach. He get fired after one season because you didn't give him the talent to build that team. And then you turn around, you hire Lovie Smith. Same thing. You let Lovie Smith go, and it made me question about. I know the D'Amico Ryans is I know
D'Amico Ryans,
he's gonna be to me. I think he'll be a fine head coach. But the thing is, like, if things don't go right, is they gonna do him dirty, like they did
right.
Lovie Smith and they did David Culley. You know, it's like, it's just sad, man. And,
Like,
not seeing Eric Bieniemy.
I didn't even know this until I actually watched Woodward Sports yesterday, and I didn't even notice until they said it that the GM for the Bears actually came from Kansas City, but you didn't bring Eric Bieniemy with you.
Nope.
For a young quarterback that got wheels in his rookie year, and you ain't got no players over there offensively. Don't you think he gonna need some kind of coordinator? You out here with a defensive coordinator as your head coach, and you coming from Kansas City, where they just had a coordinator from y'all system that was coordinating y'all linebacker coach or y'all defense as a head coach, and it failed. What are you thinking?
Yep.
And I got Bears fans still trying to flex on me about having $100 million of cap space. Like, okay, it's $100 million in cap space, but when you gotta rework like 8 different contracts in the next 5 years and spend that money up, I want to hear shit. That's the thing. That's why I don't fall. That's why I say what I said last week. I don't want the Lions getting into a situation where they're trying to go out here and buy some expensive player next year in 2024 all season when they get their money. I said, no, that money needs to be resigning their own draft picks this time to get stitchy. That's why I want to see that money for. Fuck trying to keep up with the Johnsons. No.
Nope. And yeah. But yeah, man, we're just coming a little over 2 hours, man.
Oh shit.
We about to be, we coming up to the end of the show, man. So
yeah.
Thank you everybody that was on the chat, man. Thank y'all for putting your comments in. Thank Hitman 313 for glad he came and joined in with us.
Ray Moore for a second.
Ray Moore, he came and joined in for a little bit. I know he didn't really give much of his take. Hope we look forward to it. Thanks, Owen 16.
Always, bro.
Always. So, but yeah, just wanna let y'all know, man. Everybody that's on the chat and the comments, man. Listen, man. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button on this channel, man. NomisJ, man. Listen, thank Nomis for having me as the co-host. We be out here a lot more often when we do the show. So, really appreciate y'all. Can also catch me on times with We Three Kings podcast.
Yes.
When they do the shows, give a shout out to We Three Kings out there, man. Give a shout out to them.
Shout out to man.
Culture Detroit, what I'm saying? Stop right over there, Avenue of Fashion off of Livernois, it's 7 miles. Stop up there,
sure.
Show love, support out there, man. Yeah, man. So, we had a great show today, man. Any final thoughts, man, you want to go with, man?
Yeah, man. First off, always let them know too where they can find you at. I think on Instagram if they want to hit you up, man. And Eagles fans, stop through here because the Super Bowl talk. They can find you on there. Y'all can follow Fly Eagles Fly. What was it, 1988?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So like you said, man. Y'all, of course, again, we three kings, man. Big A, everything king, and Big Willie Styles over there. In Culture of Detroit. So I want to say thank you to Got Juice, Owen, man. You always the main one in here. Tiffany the Great, Tyler Fulger showing up, Retro Recap for showing up, Mondo Ray Moore, of course, Hitman for helping us out as well tonight. Salute to him. Donnie, Bravo. It's so good to see Bravo today, man. I ain't seen him in so long. Yeah, man. So we of course gonna bring the show back next week. Again, around the similar time, man. Of course, we go keep this thing moving. We go see what's happening with the Pistons. We go pay attention to obviously the All-Star weekend and stuff. So we go try to enjoy this little break with the NBA and keep our eyes on this football team. Free agency will be here before we know it, another couple weeks. And hopefully we'll keep our eye out there what's going on again. Keep our prayers up for MSU and all the families that have been affected by the unfortunate event, man. Keep praying for y'all. Let's call your family, man. And it's your boy NomisJ. This is Go Green Daryl over here.
Yes, sir, man. We're signing out. Peace.
Swear this thing.